Hey, Matt, why do you think we see Ether lower today on a day when these spot Ether ETFs start to trade, and yesterday even lower when we got the news from the SEC?
Yeah, I think I'd point back to what happened after Bitcoin. We remember the Bitcoin ETF launch as a huge success, but we've blocked from our mind that Bitcoin traded from $50,000 to $40,000 before it recovered and ripped up to $72,000. There's an element of sell the news. There's an element of mixed expectations. But I'll say this. I'm enough positively surprised by the level of volume we're seeing in these ETFs out the gate that I think the sell the news fact may be shorter termed in Ethereum than it was even in Bitcoin.
AI is all about data. And if you have access to the data, you can have phenomenal AI. If you don't have access to the data, you don't get the AI. And the key to this announcement is we know that we're doing incredible AI for our customers because of the huge amount of data that Salesforce has, 230 petabytes. But now we're federating completely into Workday also. Yes. So we're bringing the Workday data set and the Salesforce data set together. That makes our AI even more powerful. Now, why that's important is that with this new agent technology that we talked about on the last show, Jim, all of a sudden you can have a service agent that's doing all your employee service. So all these incredible things that you can do with Workday, you can be able to do autonomously, and also this incredible new expanded data set. There's a whole new range of applications and capabilities that we could have never imagined. Plus, we're layering Slack on top of all of that. So this is really a next step for AI, the ability to kind of bring more and more data together. And as we read these stories about co-pilots and agents maybe not being able to know what to do or how to move forward because they don't have the data, this is an example of two companies coming together to make sure our customers have the data they need to deliver this incredible vision of artificial intelligence. And both of us are really excited, and I'll tell you why. The theme of Dreamforce and really the power of what's happening right now in our industry and what we're really referring to is it's really humans with AI that are driving customer success together and humans with AI that are driving employee success together. This is a very different idea than even what was possible just a couple of years ago. We've been doing predictive AI for a long time. I've been using Einstein to figure out exactly what our sales forecasts are for maybe 5 years. And then, of course, we moved to generative AI. But now this idea of autonomous, and this idea that we have agents that are acting on our behalf, you're seeing the expansion of our human sales forces and our human service forces and really our employee bases extended through artificial intelligence and agents. That's what we talked about, for example, on the last show, the idea that we're able to kind of open up a new sales territory with a sales agent or do service deflection with a service agent, or in the example now with this federated data set, the ability for employees to get the access to the information they need through using this agent technology. This is humans with AI driving success together. That's a powerful new idea, and we have to get our head around that we're working in a whole new world, and not everyone understands what has happened with this technology yet. It's incredible.
It is answered in a second. In fact, we think employee onboarding is a great use case for this joint partnership. We can accelerate from days to hours or from hours to minutes the onboarding of an employee. We also will provide a self-service HR agent through this partnership that answers all the questions. For example, if you want to know how much PTO do you have? What's my pay stub look like? What's my taxes? What are the policies? How do I update my benefits in this platform? That can all be automated through this new joint partnership and this new service agent.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, make sure you go follow and like the TikTok. And this channel, guys, spread it everywhere. Now we have Bitwise on Ethereum ETFs. And the old CFTC chairman called Ethereum the new internet. And we know DeFi is definitely the new banking. And we know JP Morgan has his hands all over Ethereum. Federal Reserve 2.0. But guys, we know this week we have a lot going on. Now we have Trump starting tomorrow. But then also we have futures on Friday. I told you this week is going to be a roller coaster ride. But we know at the beginning of the month, starting on the 5th, we know they need Bitcoin as collateral. And then we're going to start getting in these inflows which should be good right along with Bitcoin when it comes to Ethereum. And we know Grayscale is going to bleed a little bit the same way it did with Bitcoin. So the second week of August, guys, we should be fine. And don't forget, Jerome is in the house next week. And we know anytime he's in the house, they like the markets to look decent. And now the NWO is starting to put all this technology together. We know it's ready. But now we have Salesforce and Workday. And we know IBM Watson has been also working with these big corporations behind the scene. The employees are working with it without even knowing it. And now we have all this data, all this AI now ready to assist the employee. But not only is it going to assist the employee, it's going to learn from the employee. And all this work is going to eventually be automated. We already seen HR being automated. Remember, we already have an illusion of choice. So it's going to be very easy to automate these call center jobs, these sales reps jobs, and I don't care what field you're in. And don't forget about smart contracts and tokenization. Guys, it's going to change everything that we do. But remember, guys, this is a plan. It moves in phases. And these call center jobs and sales reps jobs are going to start disappearing inside the metaverse from 2025 to 2027. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, if you want one of these jobs, you're going to be in the metaverse. And then, guys, we have Biden, who said a whole lot of nothing, passing the torch. He made sure he said nothing about health, but he didn't say anything on why he was actually really leaving. So whoever wrote this speech did a great job, because he said a whole lot of nothing. And then we had Netanyahu speaking in front of Congress. And guys, you know I have to do a Patreon video on that. Can't say what I want to say. I'll have it out tomorrow. But we know Palestinians and Israelis were living together in peace and harmony until you get a handful of men that want to control the globe. And Netanyahu was here because we know those drums are about to get a whole lot louder. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism. Make it clear there is no place in America for political violence or any violence ever, period. I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence, our planet from climate crisis that is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. And I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform, because this is critical to our democracy, Supreme Court reform. You know, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong, secure, and the leader of the free world.
Struggled when folks on the outside told us how to write our speeches, because we were in there, the speechwriters, President Biden's speechwriters know him best. They know his voice, which is really the job of a speechwriter, to make sure you're channeling the voice of the person you're writing for. I mean, I've always, speeches are stories. Every speech is a story, and I think this one probably has 4 big parts. I think the opening.
There are some people going today, and that there's some people that aren't going. And I mean, obviously, everyone's talking about Vice President Harris not going to be in attendance. She's been outspoken and even diverged from the Biden administration on this issue to some extent. But Dick Durbin, what is he doing today, the second-ranking member in the Senate? Are people not going because Netanyahu is polarizing, or
well, I would say a few things. First of all, I think Vice President Harris has known for months that this date was scheduled. The leadership of Congress, both houses of Congress, worked on this date with the Israeli government months ago. So she says she's a scheduling conflict. She chose to have a scheduling conflict, and obviously, given that she's now the presumed nominee of her party for president, you would think she could rearrange her schedule for one of America's most important allies, having their leader visit Congress. Regardless of what one thinks of Prime Minister Netanyahu, and I understand he's a polarizing figure. He's a polarizing figure in Israel, and he's a polarizing figure in the United States. But he represents a country, as I said, one of our most important allies in the world, certainly our most important ally in the Middle East, that is shattered, that has been under siege since October 7th. Worst day for the Jewish people, October 7th, of any day since the Holocaust. And when Prime Minister Netanyahu comes and addresses Congress today, you will hear a speech that almost any Israeli could agree with, any Jew in America could agree with, and almost any American could agree with, in terms of the stakes of this war, that it's not just about Israel, that it's civilizational, it's a civilizational struggle, that we share this common threat, who's the origin, the catalyst of this war in Israel, this multi-front war against Israel, which is Iran. And the U.S. and Israel and our allies in the Gulf need to do something about Iran. So he may be a polarizing figure, but his message is not, and his country is not. And the idea that people are making a statement by not showing up is much bigger than Netanyahu. I think they're making a statement about Israel, and I think they're making a statement about their attitude towards Jews.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.